want to talk to you all about Fusion Champions. We have a new Fusion coming up for Halloween. We've got a Fusion starting on Thursday, and I feel like there's a lot of Fusions, which is great. I want to see Fusions keep coming, but I want to ask you, are you choosy? Are you picky about the Fusions that you go after now? Because if you've been around this game for about a year or longer, you've been doing these Fusions every time, and I feel like now we can be picky. We can be a little choosy about the Fusions we go after because people play them on the test server. We don't just get to see them on paper and go, okay, this could be good. This could be a really good champion. In this situation, we're not really sure. But now we get to see these content creators take them out on the test server, and we get to see them used against those bosses or in areas that we're thinking about. Or we can even talk to these content creators while they're on the test server and say, hey, did you try this guy out in this area? His skills sound really cool. So we get an idea of whether we really need to go after that champion. And then on the flip side of that, Fusions are usually pretty easy to do because it's the same stuff that we do all the time. We're always going through, maybe it'll tell us to go through Dragon. It kind of gets me to farm a little bit more than I would, but it's fine. It's not like I'm having to go out and break the bank, spend any money. I still only spend $50 a month on this game. I just get an energy pack and I get my $10 gym monthly pack, and that's it. And I'm able to complete the Fusions. I save up all my gems. Well, now I don't have any shards right now, honestly, but I save my shards up in between that for the 2 times, and I guess now for the Fusions to get that done. That would be the only thing holding us back, right? The summoning events. But as long as we can do well everywhere else, then we're okay. But I do hear that this newest Fusion that we have in the next 3 days is going to be a very difficult one, kind of like the Brogni one we had back in the day, to where we get fragments for the epics, and then we take those epics and make the legendary. And we don't know what those epics are yet. Maybe those epics are better than the legendary, and we don't know. They're going to be new champions. Yes, we'll find out in a few days. And maybe those epics will be better than this legendary champion, and we can focus on getting those epic champions. That would be great. I'm really sad that we actually haven't seen those epics yet. So this is the guy that we're going to have in 3 days from now. We'll go over his skills and talk about where he could be good at. But let me know your thoughts on Fusion champions. There are a lot of Fusion champions in the past that I've done all these, and I was going to pass on Grim, right? Verse off the Grim. But some reason I wound up finishing that out. I knew I was never going to play him. I did Mother Side because I thought maybe she could do something, but I haven't put books into her. I'm too scared to. If I was on the test server and really tested her out like everyone else, I'd probably just be like, man, I'm not worried about it, right? They get to go and test it on the test server so they know whether, or they show us whether we should really go hard or not. But I feel like every single content creator out there just blows it out of proportion and is like, yes, this champion is amazing. It can do this. Almost like they're paid by the company or scared to talk out about it, right? Jokes aside, guys, I feel like I've just been doing too many Fusions for no reason. Like, it's not paying off. And I don't know if I can step back from that because a lot of times it is easy things that I'm already doing in the game. I'm not really having to go over and beyond. I'm not having to spend even more time in the game. I just put it on auto farm and get it done, and then I'm able to go in there and collect the fragments or get the champions I need. So it's not been a bad thing. It's been actually a good thing, and I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying, are any of you kind of taking a step back now and choosing which ones you want to get when you weren't before? And I know a lot of you out there are free to play or low spenders, so you've already been doing that, trying to gauge whether you should get these champions or not, and hoping and praying that when you do put the time and effort in, they're worth it, right? Astralon was amazing. Iron Brago, Pixneal, whatever she's supposed to be buffed soon. Then we got Burgoth, Elagaius. Let's talk about the Halloween Fusions. We've got Brachus down here and Harvest Jack. These were the awesome Halloween times. We had Harvest Jack, Brachus. We also had Madame Sirius and Miscreated Monster, which are amazing epic champions. And only last year we had Elagaius. That's it. And Elagaius we had big hopes for because the Doom Tower wasn't out yet. It was just coming out. And we thought Elagaius was really going to help us out, but it turns out he's okay. The thing is, none of these Fusions are bad. They're not terrible. And if you have a limited roster, they can all be amazing on your account. We've seen a lot of things with Iron Brago in the clan boss or getting you through even bosses in the Doom Tower. Astralon has a lot of power, a very, very good one. If you didn't do Herndig, I'm sure you're missing out because Herndig is so much fun to play with. Rule with this Hex I mean, we're going to have Hex champions put into our login reward now. Every time we log in every month, even if you finish the current Hex-based champion, you're going to get a new one. That's what they told us. It's always going to be a Hex-based champion for quite a while, so maybe Rule will have his place. And that's the thing, right? That's the fear of missing out on making a champion like this that one day might be good. Or, like Pixneal, might get balanced, which... oh man, when they tell us they're going to do something, it blows my mind, which might be good. And then you're like, hey, I should have done that champion. I should have fused that champion. That is the only fear we have right now, that if we don't fuse it, that they might buff it one day. But I think that's laughable because how often do they buff champions? Even when they tell us they're going to buff champions. So for me, it's like, whatever, you know, whatever. Dracul, Vergamkar, none of these are really used. Dracul is pretty good. Kreela is amazing. Kantra's amazing. Gerp Tuck has definitely found his place everywhere in the game. Been amazing. Skull Lord, not so much. Killian, not really. Rhodos, man, back in the times when Torment came out, before Platinum Arena, when we had Rhodos and Torment. It was insane. And Brackus was really cool back then too. Molly Tankard's amazing. Foley needed to be buffed. When Foley came out, he wasn't everything that he is right now. Much less. He's amazing now. Shamrock and Cernic. Shamrock was around global launch. And Cernic was before global launch, so I won't even count these two in the actual fusions for us all. But we're getting a lot of fusions. So are you picking and choosing? Let me know because I feel like I want to. The whole purpose of this video is just for me to talk to you guys and feel like I want to start really thinking about whether I want to do this fusion or not and not being afraid of my decision. Just looking at what the content creators do on the test server, reading over its abilities because we're all very familiar now with pretty much what everything can do. And I think that we've had such a large variety of champions now that we can kind of wrap our mind more around what champions are good and what champions aren't. Sure, things are always found out later on. Maybe one day it'll be a Samar Gym Cursed kind of situation to where we didn't think the champion was good. We don't really play him anywhere. Can he be good? Can he be a bruiser that stays alive forever and then puts block damage on himself? Yes, but we wouldn't have thought, hey, there's going to be a new boss coming out that we could use to solo him, Bommel the Dreadhorn, right, with Samar. And if he would have been a fusion champion, we would have been like, damn it, we should have gone after that one. But the game's kind of slowed down. We've got the 3 different Doom Towers there are going to be. There's not going to be any more than 3 for a very long time. They don't have any more Doom Towers on the slate for a really, really long time. Sure, new content could be added like a Hydra boss or maybe clan versus clan where we actually fight against each other. And then we would know whether these champions would be good for that. So I just feel like that the game's in a state right now that we know it's good, that we've got a better grasp on things. So if there was a fusion champion that came out that did do something like Samar, well, we're used to that now. We're okay. We know what's going on. So we'll be like, well, maybe since this guy is similar to Samar, we could use him to cheese something out later on. So go ahead and pick up that champion. I'm ranting right now, but I'm trying to tell you my thought process behind why I kind of want to pick and choose now, why I want to slow down a little bit on the fusions if I can. If it's the normal stuff we always do, then of course I'll get the fusion done. But if it's a difficult fusion, if they start coming out with hard fusions, I'm going to really look at whether I think I need this champion or not. And I'm going to look at the content creators and ask them questions while they're on the test server whether I should go after this guy and have they used him in certain situations, because it's not worth my time and it's definitely not worth my money to get another champion that I just throw in the vault. So let me know down below, are you in this state of mind? Have you been in this state of mind about fusion champions? And we've got Halloween coming up very soon, but it looks like all the Halloween fusions were done at the very end of the month in October. Let's go over Sigmund's skills really quick, and you let me know whether this is a champion you want to go after. I think this champion can be strong. He can be used in a lot of areas of the game, but he's not something I need. Attack one enemy, remove buffs, has a 50% chance to remove one random buff, and a 75% chance instead if attacking a boss. So we can remove a buff from somebody and remove any shield buffs. Attacks all enemies 2 times, and then gauging by the percentage here, I would say 75% chance to provoke maxed out and 100% chance to decrease attack debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That's what I'm going to go with for this ability. I want to know when I provoke that I'm going to provoke the enemy. Still strong because we get shields here for 2 turns equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. He is a defense-based champion, I think, from what the content creator said, so we'll just play him like we do Brogni. We'll load him up with a whole bunch of HP to make sure that we get big HP shields. We won't worry about this AoE damage so much, or the A1 damage, and we get a strengthen buff to where we take 25% less damage. Whenever this champion is attacked, we've got a percentage chance to decrease the duration of all buffs on the attacker by 1 turn, and then a 40% chance instead if we're attacked by a boss. I don't know. Doesn't look like, again, it's nothing that I need to chase after. I don't believe so, and we should, I would think, see content creators coming out with this guy already. Shouldn't they be testing this on the test server? I would imagine they would be. But even just reading this on paper, this isn't a type of champion that it has something special like a Brogni in there. Like we were doing with Brogni on the test server and what we do with Brogni now. It doesn't look like that type of champion or even as amazing as Herndig. I won't pass it up if it's easy, but if it is difficult to complete, I think I'm going to pass. I think I'm going to actually pass this time and not worry about it. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on. I will see you all in a video soon.